Hey guys, so Lord here, back in with another action figure review, and unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, but what a glorious end it shall be, because today we'll be wrapping up my looks at the Masters of the Universe Origins 2000X Cartoon collection with my boy Clawful, who is a deluxe figure in this line, brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel. And while he does not come with any accessories, not even a club, although he didn't use a club in the show, then no cry, no foul, I guess. I just assumed he had one. But while he doesn't come with that, he does come with this piece of cardboard with his picture on it. And a little pamphlet in case you're a doofus and don't know how to take these apart. Either way, taking a closer look at Clawful, just getting right into the meat and taters of this review, because as of right now, it's probably one of my favorite figures of the year, because it's 2000X Clawful, and it's not a statue, and I can play with him and not worry about busting anything. It's fantastic. His torso's a little wiggly on mine, I'm not gonna lie. I might hit that little socket with a hairdryer and see if it pushes down a little more. But at any rate, he looks fantastic. Not as big as Beastman, though. I mean, we'll see that in size comparisons, but he is absolutely freaking fantastic. I love this figure. He looks awesome. His claw can, of course, open on this side, so he can communicate to the crab people. With a series of clicks. This claw opens too, but it's so minuscule. It's enough to put a weapon in there, the weapon he doesn't come with. And that's about it. Now, as far as his articulation goes, his head can look up and down a little bit, kind of shift and whatnot. I kind of just keep it down like this because that's how he is. But you can shift it up and give him a little more height if you want. He can rotate and kind of look side to side. Yeah, he can look side to side alright. I'm assuming this is probably the same torso as Beastman, but Beastman's feels bigger to me. I don't know. That's what she said. But at any rate, the arms, these might be shared from Beastman, but you can pop the arms out, pop them back down, you can rotate them forward and back, all that good stuff. He's got a swivel in the elbow with a hinge, which, not for nothing, his arms are a little different because he's got the little spiky dads on the back, and a little bracer here. And then for this hand, he does have a hinge. Ironically, different from how all the claw hands in Origins have been articulated, but it does rotate and it does hinge in and out, nevertheless, which is fine. And then this arm just has the hinge in the elbow, and it's like a solid plastic piece. Same with this part of the claw. None of this is PVC, which is kind of surprising to me. It's just all hollow plastic, but I guess it's for the best, because it's not going to weigh him down as much. If this was solid PVC, he'd probably be falling over and getting loose kind of quick. So that's probably a good idea that they did that. Torso can rotate. It does kind of click into place, but it does wiggle a bit as well. But mine doesn't just, he doesn't just fall apart, so that's fine, whatever. Hips can kick out, back down, kick forward and back. He does have a thigh swivel. Swivel at the knee with a hinge. And then he's got a swivel in the calf, boot, whatever. And he's got almost like chicken legs going on, which is odd because I didn't notice that on the Staction. And I didn't notice that in the show back when I watched it some odd years ago. So that's interesting. But he does have a hinge in the foot with a rocker joint. So, yes, Clawful, obviously, super biased, but he is my favorite from this line so far. Looking forward to Merman. Hope we get a Trap Jaw and a Whiplash to help round out the Evil Warriors. I think those are the only ones really needed to complete the core squad, because Webstar really wasn't around the Evil Warriors a lot. He was more like a hired gun. He was like a bounty hunter, more or less. Kind of ditching that whole Master of Escapism thing. And then Evil Seed, who'd be a good foil for the Mossman figure in this line. He was another one that he wasn't really like part of the core group. Too Bad became part of the core group, but he came in much later. Same with Stinkor. He was part of that group, but I don't think he hung around a lot because, well, he stunk. But if we could get a Whiplash and a Trap Jaw to kind of round out this line, that would be sick. I don't know, because everything's on pause right now to focus on movie product, which, again, I hope it sells. So MOTU doesn't just disappear from the ether like it did many moons ago. But time will only tell with that, I guess. So with that being said, I think it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here we have good old Clawful alongside a more standard sized figure from this 2000X cartoon collection. That, of course, being Triclops, he who sees everything. Just to give you an idea of how much bigger these deluxe figures are. That said, I also mentioned in my Beastman review from yesterday that I would be doing size comparisons a bit differently for these deluxe releases, just because they are that much bigger than a standard figure. Moving him out of the way so we can bring in a female figure. Once again, the only female figure I have from this line, Evelyn. I think I botched Clawful bringing her in there, but there you go. Much like Beastman, quite a bit smaller than Mr. Clawful here. That said, here is the aforementioned Beastman. Give you an idea of how these deluxe figures scale amongst each other. Beastman is quite a bit taller than Clawful, I noticed. Although I did mention that in his review from yesterday, so please check that out if you haven't already. Really appreciate it if you did. Moving him aside so we can bring in our two regulars. We have the Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibilith, right here. As well as the infamous 11 Spawn, and much like Beastman before him, despite his deluxe size, still towers over everyone. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while he may not be quite as big as Beastman, I have to say that good old Clawful here is another fine addition to this 2000X cartoon collection, and is definitely a contender for one of my favorite figures of the year. Probably not going to be placing in the top 3 or 5 or anything, but this is my favorite rendition of this character at the end of the day. And while it may not be the best representation of this version of Clawful that we could get, it's the most affordable one. That's for sure. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.